Natasha, President Biden has so many accomplishments to run on. Is it safe to say he is going to be showcasing them, ticking them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 across the board at the State of the Union?
Absolutely. This is his chance right now. I mean, his campaign advisors and White House advisors have been telegraphing for months that this State of the Union address was going to really be his moment. And, you know, we saw, if you recall, the Super Bowl, he passed up an opportunity to sit down and have an interview and speak to millions of people. Now, a lot of people around him are saying they want more control over the environment. This will give Biden greater control. He'll be able to read his speech, of course. There's things that come up during the State of the Union last year. There was heckling, so that, of course, he'd have to contend with that. But this is a much more scripted and controlled environment. And you're absolutely right. He's going to take off one by one all of his accomplishments. And Democrats think that this is the chance to really showcase this in front of the country. You know, everything from getting the climate agenda through student loans. You know, you could go on and on, infrastructure and so on. But you can also, you know, see him going after Republicans a little bit. I think we might see them spice it up.
Juanita, the president had a very strong State of the Union last year. Even if he has an amazing one this year, look at the general public. Our attention is so scattered. Fewer and fewer people sit down, families, and watch the State of the Union address like they did years ago. How much can one speech truly make a difference in 2024?
Well, Stephanie, I think that's where the clips and the moments that go viral matter. Of course, Republicans have no sense of respect or decorum, so they're going to heckle President Biden like they did last year. But it's a question of whether or not Biden can deliver that retort that really blows the nation away like it did last year. Of course, the context is a bit different with the recent fights on border and foreign aid funding. But also we have the ongoing crisis in Gaza with, 28,500 people killed in Gaza. And so I think the president is going to have to balance out this speech where, of course, respond to the hecklers, get your viral moment, celebrate what you've accomplished, but also set a vision for 2024 and beyond. That is still a lot to try to undertake in 45 minutes. And so I think that the Biden campaign team is going to have to settle for maybe 2 out of 3 and then call it a night and try to amplify whatever major clips do emerge.
Juanita, let's talk about this campaign war chest. Obviously, it is great for Biden's team that they have so much money. But think about where we are. Think about with social media, with misinformation, with news deserts, and so many low-cost ways to get in front of voters. Does a big war chest matter as much today as it did, let's say, 10, 20 years ago?
I'll say for 2 reasons it matters. One, because we know the RNC is sinking millions of dollars into Trump's legal fees. So we know that Republicans are at a disadvantage. But it also helps the Biden team because we know they can invest those resources in on the ground, direct face-to-face interactions with voters. Yes, I know they're planning a massive digital play, but nothing does the organizing work and the power of individuals going door to door, talking to voters directly. That's where you persuade voters. That's where you mobilize communities, and that's where you increase turnout. Again, the digital play here is going to be big for Democrats too, but there's nothing that can ever undermine or compare with the organizing power of face-to-face interactions with voters, and I hope the campaign is investing in that heavily.
Natasha, new topic. The New York Times reported that Donald Trump now favors a national ban on abortion after 16 weeks. His campaign is denying the report. If you're the Biden campaign and you see this headline, how are you responding to Trump?
Oh, Democrats couldn't trumpet this quickly enough. I mean, they mobilized around the report immediately. They held a campaign call. Joe Biden released a very lengthy statement on it. This was a really surprising move from Donald Trump and the campaign to be talking about this. Now, NBC News had heard from sources that Donald Trump was settling on a 16-week abortion, just a marker that he was going to say that that was what he was comfortable with, but not propose an abortion ban. That, of course, you know, a federal ban, that has implications up and down the ballot for a lot of these Senate races that are on the line. And it immediately energized Democrats. We saw all these advocates, abortion rights advocates, get together around that. And quickly after that, you saw some scrambling from the Trump campaign. They released a statement saying it was fake news and so forth. But it's really going to be something that is difficult for them in messaging right now, because that headline is out there already, and the wheels are turning on that messaging.
Here's the thing about messaging. Just tell the people what you plan to do. Juanita, let's take it a step further, because I want to talk about the decision from the Alabama Supreme Court that frozen embryos should now be considered children. This could put IVF treatment in peril across the state. There's already reports that fertility clinics in Alabama might have to close their doors. Just how out of touch is this with this decision with where the American people are?
Steph, I remember when that draft decision to overturn Roe leaked in May of 2022. I remember sitting there and I remember going on air talking about how this is just the beginning. This is going to extend to other forms of reproductive rights. This is going to extend to privacy. This is going to extend to, let's be real, any precedent that exists within the Supreme Court. And here we have this explicit example. What my biggest concern is that this type of ruling out of Alabama is going to expedite the anti-abortion agenda that we've been seeing rolling around across the country, because this is one of those test cases that absolutely is going to have impacts in other parts of the country. And what my biggest concern is how this impacts individuals, the people who are seeking access to basic health care, whether that's to start a family or otherwise. But the reality is that this is going to cause harm. And this is yet another example of the impact of overturning Roe that should be laid right at Donald Trump's feet. So just as the way Democrats really jumped on Trump's consideration of a national abortion ban, Democrats absolutely need to tell the story, talk through the impact of what this type of policy and what these type of rulings mean for regular people and voters across the country who we know overwhelmingly support access to reproductive rights.